Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and that the mother has went through a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
McSherman is a demon.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for another ATS News live stream. We, of course, are keeping up with our Gypsy Rose Watch and deep dives. And these deep dives include past statements, past stuff that we are discovering about the case and crime that she is connected to, as well as her recent posts and updates that is going on since she has been out on parole. So what we are going to start with is, I guess we'll start with something that I found interesting in the Facebook groups regarding her and the crime. And yes, thanks for letting me know that the sound is good. It's good to see everybody. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Pointer Lover. Hi, Debbie. Sherry, Letitia. Good to see you guys. Alejandra, Tony. So glad you guys are here. Hey, Melly. Guys, check out Melly's channel. She's got it up and running. It's fairly new, so head over there, and she'll do streams late night and during the day. So all types of stuff going on over there. So I definitely recommend checking that out. So something I kind of want to start with before we get into her most recent YouTube video, which is her at her family reunion. The family reunion that she told everybody out about and the location of, and then posted about wanting privacy, even though she's the one that put out their location. This right here was shared to a group. It's from a TikTok, but I'm just sharing the screenshot from the group. And I find it very interesting and unsettling. And this is pretty much what the title of it's saying, that Gypsy Rose's PR team can't hide this. Just things that are coming out still about the crimes that she's connected to. And a lot of people wonder, why are we giving her attention? We need to kind of make it known that, you know, since everyone has put her up on a pedestal, that this is what she's kind of famous for. So we can't forget. So this says that this is from a news article in the UK. Guess they didn't get the news about not printing anything but Gypsy's version of events. And not only Gypsy's version of events, but her version of events and the prosecution's side of events. So, you know, they came up with the whole, you are a victim of Munchausen by proxy. Again, I'm not saying that she 100% was not. I'm just saying I find this stuff interesting to kind of look back at. It says, Nicholas's version was that his girlfriend had asked him to kill her mother. Actually, it says kill her mom, and that she'd hold Dee Dee down. So, as he stabbed her. So everyone's kind of been wondering, you know, what kind of level of the crime did she partake in? We know that she purchased the knife. We know that there is text messages between her and Nick, pretty much plotting the whole thing together, like very elaborately and detailed. And, you know, she sleeps this way. She usually sleeps face down. Come in through this door. I mean, everything was very much orchestrated very much by Gypsy. Let's face it. Now, this was something that a lot of people who have been studying the case hadn't seen. A lot of people obviously only had sources that were from the US and inside the US's media, etc. So that's why I kind of wanted to share this, because it's just something that is different than the version of events that we've been given by Gypsy and by the district attorney, prosecution, stateside, whatever you want to call it. So it leaves us to question, is this accurate? Did she hold Dee Dee down as Nick stabbed her? A lot of people think that she got some stabs in. Sometimes, which we've seen in other cases, we go back and we check media reports when things were first reported, and we find things that we're like, wait, what? This never really circulated much, or I've never seen this before, especially when we did Scott Peterson and the Watts case. There were things that were just like we'd never seen. You would have to kind of track down, so that it looks like the TikTok's name is Crime Mom, and maybe ask them what article this was from. But you can clearly see that it's a whole article about the case. I mean, at the top, it says, "I just hope Gypsy is okay." But just as they were trying to come to terms with what happened to Dee Dee, there came another bombshell. Gypsy, the beloved daughter who cared for her, was arrested. And then it pretty much just highlights that the girlfriend had asked him to kill her mom and that she'd hold Dee Dee down as he stabbed her. Then the couple had stolen thousands of dollars from a safe in the dead woman's house, which we know that was actually accurate too. So, yes, like Letitia said, also Dee Dee normally took a strong cocktail of heavy meds at night, and Gypsy said she was stone cold out by 4 a.m. Her stomach contents did not have her night meds. Dee Dee slept face down. I mean, perhaps she didn't hold her down, like, I don't know. But that's an interesting note too, her being so tiny. Could she have? Hey, Marshall Dove, good to see you. With the help of Nick, who was probably like 135-ish, with her and Gypsy on top of her, don't know. Tony says, I find that very believable. The bruises she had could have been from helping, in my opinion. I'm not to the point where I'm like 100% like that she was involved, but I'm also to the point where I'm like not 100% that she was in her bathroom in the fetal position with her hands over her ears and her head down, and she didn't see or try to hear anything that was going on. I think that I'm to the point where I've seen enough of Gypsy on her live streams, on her social medias, kind of all over her networks, and contradicting her statements that she's come out with on mainstream media, where I'm to the point where I'm like, is she just pulling the wool over our eyes? Because she says this and then she does that, or she makes it appear this way and it's actually that way, or she, treats Ryan sort of the way that she kind of treated Nick, disposable. So again, I just wanted to bring this because I find it interesting, and I think that we really, for me at least, I want to be open-minded to, there's more to this story than what the district attorney and what Gypsy has been telling us. Because let's face it, there's other cases where they've portrayed something as the truth or their version or their theory in court, and then we find out like, well, it wasn't really that way, or things kind of don't add up to that version. So I just feel like there's no way she was hiding her innocent little girl head. She would at least be a watcher from the doorway, but I believe wrist holding could fit her personality. I think that it would be she was tiny, but Dee Dee was weak and sickly, asleep and taken by surprise. Good point. Okay, Linda, then leave. My God. And honestly, if you could just block her from chat, because I'm so sick of people coming into our Gypsy streams in my comment section and plugging all these other channels. Like, go watch those channels then. Yes, Jax, this is live. Melanie, good to see you. She says, I can believe that. No, just no, I'm not being hateful towards you, just saying my view. I know Mayla's mom, and I know when she was first released, you and me were the minority in the groups where we were saying, give her a chance. She was a victim. And I fully believe that she was a victim of some sort of abuse, psychological, mental, something strange was going on with her throughout her childhood. I can absolutely admit that and see that. Whereas other people, like all those people, yeah, and Fancy is unhinged, like her and all those other people that Linda just listed off to go check out instead, they seem to push the theory that, like, no, she wasn't a victim. And I'm not there. Like, I do think that she was a victim. And then they try to contradict or circle back and say, like, well, no, she was a victim, but just not of medical abuse, just other abuse. Like, abuse is abuse. She was a child. She is the way that she is because of her upbringing. Let's face that. So thank you, Heather. Yeah, hit that like button. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, and there's all those stories too, like Jack said, about Dee Dee poisoning her father's new wife with weed killer, and lady succumbed to the injuries years later. There's all those things that kind of point to a sketchy past with Dee Dee. No proof, and then there's people like Lily who will say no proof that Dee Dee poisoned anyone. My own free thinking opinion, and that's fair too. I mean, do we have a toxicology? Do we have a witness that saw it? I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just think that this story is very complex and it has so many layers in it that, does anybody fully know 100% the truth? And I don't think that we do, which kind of makes this interesting to discuss and talk about. Those who think they know the truth, good for them. I'm happy for them. Here we like to kind of peel back layers and look at things on both sides and kind of see things not just black and white. Whereas those other channels that were named, I think see things very black and white, when I think it's much more deep than that. The way she has said she could never hurt her mom and was too squeamish wasn't very believable to me. And it's interesting, Tony, that you bring up a statement that she has made, because we are going to play a video of her talking about the crimes when she was in prison. Because I do want to reflect on Gypsy's own statements too and kind of react to them as well. So I believe her mother was abused by her. A lot of people have said that too, just me. And I believe she only shaved her head because her mom had cancer and had to shave her head. Oh, that's interesting. I never heard that theory. I have a feeling that Gypsy finished her mother off hours before Nick arrived. She told her mom she loved her and made peace with her and he could come in with the taxi. And there's also statements that she has made since being out that she has nightmares still. I do not know all the details. What is Nick's most recent version as far as her involvement? He's never implicated her. Some people believe that he's in love with her still. Some people believe that he's just going along with her version and that they had this pack and deal and he's sticking to it. I know that she orchestrated this, but I also see that certain creators are pushing a narrative and people are running with it. Right. And that's why when that troll comes in saying, check out these channels and list them all off, it's like, yeah, they all regurgitate the same thing. It's all this one level of thinking. Yes, they've looked at this and they've looked at that and they've come to their conclusions. Good for them. But the beauty of research and the beauty of, YouTube is everyone has their own opinion and everyone takes in sometimes the same information, but comes out with it differently in their own mind. I see it as like a true tragedy. She was abused into being a grifter, but all she know is grifting and self-service, and she took it all the way with life-ending scheme, my point of view. Right, that's fair too. Hey, Jody is cool. Good to see you. Some are saying it didn't happen in the bedroom. Dee Dee was moved and stored in ice. Her nose was broke, implicating other people. Seems like a slippery slope. Yeah, I've seen those too. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, because they said something about, oh, there was hardly any blood in there. But when we went through the autopsy last week, we see there was a lot of internal bleeding. She told Nick to keep the lights off. I think Dee Dee was dead before Nick got there. A lot of people think that. See, this whole theory, not enough blood at the crime scene. But when you go through the autopsy, you can see that there was a lot of internal bleeding. So, especially with knife wounds. If you guys look at the knife, it's disgusting and brutal looking. Okay, so this was another thing. Obviously, it's a text message between Nick and Gypsy, and the theory behind this I thought was super interesting. I wanted to read it to you guys too, and then we're going to jump into her most recent YouTube video. And Tony says she thinks she was moved. Didn't they say the wheelchair was bloody in the bathroom? Hadn't heard that. I know the wheelchair was definitely in the bathroom. That's interesting, Mayla's mom. In the medical documents where it states about the chromosome disorder, that's not even from a geneticist. You could see geneticists to get that test. You would see geneticists to get that. And that's true too, that like there's things that are being spun out there, like about what she had, and this was required, this surgery was required because of this and this and that. There's also things out there that say people who have that chromosome disorder like outgrow a lot of those ailments. Like when people say she needed that feeding tube because she had this chromosome disorder, there's so much stuff out there that says like that is only like in the first few years of life. And we know that Gypsy's was much later than that. So there's just things that kind of I question. And if people aren't willing to have an open mind and question the case, this probably isn't the channel for you. This isn't a bash Gypsy channel. I don't make a video numerous times a day about Gypsy to build my channel either, like other people have done. More power to them if that's what you want to do. But I see a lot of these channels as sort of being like obsessed. It's like there's other things to discuss, which we try to do. Until Gypsy, I've never seen a victim or survivor become a celebrity. Look at Elizabeth Smart or Amanda Berry. They do an interview and then they focus on healing. Just seems so weird. You're right. And that's the thing too about this is and I love that little picture. Oh my God, it's cracking me up. It almost reminds me of myself, that seal picture. That's what this is. So like, it's sort of like the weirdest thing to kind of watch happen, because she is involved in a horrific true crime case, which we looked into before she was ever even released. And then she gets released and then she's thrown into this like social media world head first. And she really dives into it and puts herself out there. So because she's done all that, it's opened the door for so much criticism and people kind of gawking and like watching her through like a glass in a way, like at a museum. Like it's like a train wreck. Like, what is she going to do next? Why is she doing this? And then the mess with her husband and new boyfriend and pregnancy. Who's the father? Like, it's like unbelievable. It's really, really just bizarre. And then you see these videos and interviews of her from prison, and you're like, holy cow, like this is like a totally different Gypsy. And then you see her before prison, and you're like, that's another totally different Gypsy. It's interesting to me. It really is. Like, true crime, the psychological aspect of it has always been interesting to me. Why do these people do what they do? What led them to this? And that's where we're at. And thank you, Johnny, for the tea. Here's some tea for everybody, because we're going to get into some more tea too. She definitely needs to work on healing and growing up. I just started in my 60s. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like some people don't heal from things until, like you said, like late in life. And it looks as though Gypsy has barely had any time to reflect, and she's already starting to a family. She definitely was psychologically and mentally abused for years by Dee Dee, but some other things I'm not 100% sure on. Right. Same with me. All right. So this post, or I'm sorry, this text message, the Turpin children are doing great. That's good to hear, because that was horrific too. Yeah, I agree. It says a lot when a creator is obsessed with one topic. It makes them less credible in my eyes. Right. It's like, open your eyes to other things to kind of focus your energy on. So it says, I saw someone point this out on TikTok. I thought it was kind of interesting. This was Gypsy's text to Nick the day before the crime. So for those who don't know, they had like egos and different personalities and names. Gypsy's was Ruby. And it says, what if Ruby is the one who helped Nick do it? Then Nick isn't lying when he says Gypsy didn't help. For those who may be new to the case, Nick and Gypsy role-played. Victor and Ruby were their evil sides. And the text says, this shit's gonna go down tonight, Ruby said. So again, just thought that was interesting. Like I said, we're gonna deep dive into things from the case, from things in her present time. And I just wanted to bring this to you because I just thought that's a good point. You know, he has Asperger's, right, guys? They sometimes see things very literal. So when he says Gypsy didn't help me with the crime, you know, and here they're talking about Ruby said this to Victor. I think that's interesting, because what if, you know, that's what it is too. Like, he's technically not lying when he says that Gypsy didn't help. It was Ruby. All right. And hello, the Cat's Life and Punksy and everyone else who's joined. Thank you guys for being here and sharing your thoughts and opinions. All right. So now we're going to move on to present time Gypsy at her family reunion. Haven't watched this all yet, so I like to kind of break these down with you guys live. And then we'll kind of go back and look at her past statements after this. And go through some other updates from Gypsy as well. So just stay with me, guys. We are just combing through some of this train wreck.
So it's the first day of the family reunion at the lake, and we are experiencing rainy weather. So we were supposed to go fishing on the boat, and that didn't really work out. So we ended up going fishing on the dock. That was a lot of fun. Got hella wet, but had no fish. So, all right, let's see how the rest of the weekend pans out.
And to me, it's just interesting. Like, she uses the word hella, which is super like West Coast like terminology and slang. People have pointed out, like, where does her accents go? She's all over the place with her accents. Like, when she's around her family, she's all of a sudden got that Louisiana accent.
Hey, babe, how'd you like fishing on the dock today?
It was incredible. I caught nothing.
Boudin deer sausage, I think he said it
You're
was.
asking me?
Yeah, I think it's
I don't know,
Boudin deer.
Brick.
Hi, Mia. Hi. How's the family reunion going?
It's going good. Obviously suck at Jenga, but it's fine. I made us lose apparently twice, but that's Dad's fault. I'm blaming it all on Dad.
Oh,
He
yeah,
wanted me on his team, so this is where we are. It's fine though.
Yeah,
We're
it's
having
fine.
a good time. It's fine.
No, that's the guy.
Oh, God.
Let me take my flip flops off.
It's gonna jerk a little bit until we all get up to speed, and otherwise, done that from the get go.
Don't run him over.
I'm trying not to.
Wait, let Gypsy drive.
Big toe, big toe, big toe. I don't want to run her over.
Hey, they got some lights on that thing too, Gypsy.
I know.
Now, since we got Ken on the screen, I still stand by my statements that I see zero chemistry between them. There was, of course, as you guys know, a rumor that he was seeing a guy named Steve before he was with Gypsy. This was kind of circulating on social media for a little bit. It is a post on Facebook, and the guy's name is Steve Wood. Yeah, it's so forced. I agree. And the laugh, yes, Christine, it's like, what's so funny? Like, it's like, I don't know. You know, whether he likes girls or not is still questionable. But this is what Steve allegedly said on Facebook. Hey, Gyps, tell Ken that I want all of our pictures, videos, and scrapbooks returned ASAP. He thought he was cute using me while playing house with you. I have some good stories to tell you if you want to hit me up in my DMs. I also want my personally engraved ring and necklace back. I have a box of his stuff too. Tell that bitch to call me. And by the way, when are you going to tell everyone you are pregnant and trapped poor Ken like Dee Dee trapped Rod? Asking for a friend. Yeah, Ken confided to me and said he was scared as F that you are going to be a mom to his child. So that apparently has been circulating. I don't know if it's 100% like the Steve, but as you guys all know, there has been rumored that he was seeing somebody named Steve right before Gypsy or during the same time. And he's afraid of the Blanchards. Interesting. He always looks annoyed. Did she buy him promises? The promise ring? She stole the knives from Walmart. As if that makes it much better, right? Ken is a thirst bucket out as well. No chemistry. Yes, she bought him a hold on. I got that article. We'll get back to that little family reunion. Gypsy Rose is showing her commitment. Yeah, we know she's committed to him. To boyfriend Ken Urker with a special piece of jewelry. Sources, which by the way, she has people that reach out to TMZ and People magazine or People, whatever it's called now, and sell her stories to them to push like her narrative and a good representation of herself out there. Gypsy gifted Ken a promise ring a few weeks ago after their child's gender reveal, which we saw that ring a while ago in one of our live streams when they were shopping at, what's that store? Hobby Lobby. Ken's proudly displaying the black band on his ring finger in a recent photo the couple posted at Nobu, which is like a really expensive Japanese restaurant. So, you know, Gypsy's paying, leading eagle-eyed fans to wonder what the deal was. And now we know. Our sources say that the promise ring is a symbol Gypsy is committed to their relationship and their new family. Like, isn't he supposed to give her that? Like, he gets her pregnant, allegedly. It's his, allegedly. And she gives him a ring? Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? And with their baby girl on the way, it also represents their love. We're told Gypsy told Ken that she understands the struggles they face, but in her heart, he is her true husband. And accepting the ring would mean he feels the same way. Is that what it means? Because it seems like if that statement from Steve is accurate, Steve was giving him jewelry too. Obviously, Ken's now wearing the ring, and our sources say he loves it. No ring for Gypsy, at least not yet. We're told the couple doesn't feel it's appropriate to wear a ring on that finger until her divorce from Ryan Anderson is finalized. Right, don't wear a ring on the finger, but walk around with a baby bump. What in the heck? You might as well just put a ring on your finger. Like, if you're worried about how it appears, like you're pregnant by another man when you're still married to Ryan. As for Ken's promise ring, our sources say Gypsy picked out a simple black band from Zales, $275. But, you know, she won't pay for, she's waiting for the paternity test after she's pregnant because it's cheaper. But, you know, they can go to Nobu, which is super expensive. It's just, she makes 0 sense. All right, hold on. Family reunion.
Doing good.
Stuck in the mud.
No, this thing is built for it. It has the tires and everything.
You think I can fit through that little gap there?
Yeah, you can.
No, I don't think I can.
If you know how to drive, I could have fit through that.
I don't think Ken knows how to drive.
Here we go. Off to Neverland. I see the top speed. There we go. Now we're putting the gas. Beautiful, crazy, she can't help but amaze me. The way that she dance.
Yes, exactly. There's all that money.
That's me, Mark.
Here we go.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Nice.
I think there was like a little beach or something.
We'll find it.
Imagine if it went like really fast.
Soup it up like in the water boy. But that was a long time ago. You're okay. You ever seen Waterboy?
No.
Oh, we're gonna fix that tonight.
Does everybody have a golf cart?
I haven't seen a single one.
No, these are all over the golf cart.
This is a restricted area.
I wish I could see like what they're looking at instead of just them. Tracy said Ken has to be the best actor at this point. He knows what's at stake. I really think he's using her for money, personally.
We can't be traffic only.
I'm turning around. Don't worry. I'm turning around. Don't worry. As long as I don't flip the golf cart, we're doing
Shannon! I don't trust you with this golf cart.
good. I got some guys that have to go to the area. Sorry. Okay, baby.
Oh, this is not the beach.
No, we're keep going.
Be careful of the curve. Great curve.
Wave. Always wave. Oh, yeah, back.
Wait,
Okay. Wait. Let's beach.
what are you talking about? Arena parking only. Pay attention to the sign.
10 vehicles on this guy.
Oh,
All right, that's how we got stopped. I'm not breaking any rules right now. That's really all that I care about. And we're stuck in the mud.
that would be something.
Dude, the golf cart's slowing down. What's going on? I have my foot to the floor.
It's funny. Are you gonna drive into the ocean? Like
No,
what?
I'm driving up to
Just slow down.
I think he's been putting on some weight, Tony. Like, I don't mean to like body shame him, but he was in better shape. Like when he first came out and was on the show. A lot of times, I'm sure you guys have heard this, men kind of gain weight with their wives or girlfriends when they're pregnant. And she's been going out for a date night with him a lot and paying, I assume. It's occasion sketty. She is using her mom and Ken is using her. What do you mean by that, Janice? Yeah, the camera's on them the whole time. I just skimmed through the video, so.
We're good. Chill. Just chill. So many bugs. I have a feeling we're gonna get yelled at. I just feel like we're doing something wrong right now. Let's just admire the ocean for a few minutes, and then we'll leave.
Oh, it's so romantic.
It sure is.
Oh, look, it's a black
Bird.
swan.
It's a swan.
It's a black swan.
It's a stork. It's a. Look how it dives down under. Look at the fish. This would be a good fishing place if we were.
I mean, it's not coming back up. I'm kind of concerned.
Golf cart. No, it's called a something. A crane. I think.
Oh, it's okay. It's back up again.
We're leaving.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Are you doing this on purpose?
No, look at my foot.
Okay, my golf cart's a little glitchy. It's fine.
And
it died.
we're not good. Okay, hold on. Let me try again. Bro, we get stuck out here.
Oh, my dad's
God, it's gonna go
definitely like Gypsy's idiot boyfriend.
Did he just call her bro? Did he say, bro, if we get stuck out here? I need to hear that again.
Bro, we get stuck out here.
Oh, my
God,
dad's
it's gonna go
definitely gonna be like,
Oh dear. Never a good sign when your significant other is calling you bro.
Gypsy's idiot boyfriend.
Hey, now. It's only sometimes.
Oh, God, he's another cuddle.
Well, nice and slow. Nice and slow. All right, and we're good.
And we're good. We're in the clear.
We're gonna go this way now. Big turn.
Oh, it's
Gotcha.
Baby's fine. Oh, that's light.
I have yet to see a beach.
It was that little bit of sand.
Where?
It was just past it.
Where?
Whenever you were like,
Debbie, she just had last week the 20-week anatomy scan. Yeah, Babe would be much better. Pedro would call me dude. Right. I mean, some people do it, I guess. To me, and majority of chat seems kind of weird. Very platonic, in my opinion.
we're gonna go here and have the sand. Sand. Are those chickens?
No, those are more
No,
cranes.
no, I think they're chickens.
They're not chickens, babe.
Oh, look, that was a store.
Oh, we called her Babe.
No, the birds.
I think we call them an egret.
A what?
An egret.
Egret?
Yeah.
Like Jon Snow's girlfriend?
No.
Egret?
No, egret. You gotta like roll your arms.
Egret.
There you go.
It still sounds like egret. It's like live out here?
No. This is for camping. Oh God. Yeah. It's fields for traffic.
Well, he stopped, so I'm gonna just. I'll pull over. I know that's what it's like to be stuck in here.
I've heard this being mentioned a lot. Hobby Lobby banned her and her mom for life for stealing, but she can still get out of jail and shop there. Usually you only get banned from a certain store, like location. So they were banned from whatever one they were stealing from, and she goes to a different one with Ken after prison. So she's not banned.
Alright, I'll let you choose. That way, or that way.
That way.
That
I don't know. Give it a shot.
Right, right straight. Right straight. Right straight. Right straight. Too late. Right, straight, right.
Right.
Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Flash.
No.
Nope. Too late. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right,
There's no one. Oh, look, there's a playground.
Are there swings?
I don't know.
I want to go swing.
We can go check it out.
Nah. We're good.
I want to check it out.
You want to check it out? I don't think I can go in there.
I don't know.
In the golf cart. There are swings. Okay, let's go check it
All right,
out.
let's just take golf carts. It's a golf cart for rent.
Yeah. Go in here?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now we're going to park careful, right here.
Oh yeah, nice little abandoned swing set.
31 years old on a swing.
I haven't been on one of these since God, I was like 4. I don't know. I was really tiny when I was on one. I'm not even moving at this point.
I know, but eventually.
Sing.
Can we record you?
I'm trying to self-record.
You want me to record you?
I'm trying to get some traction. My feet doesn't touch the ground.
You don't need your feet. Just move.
I'm moving.
Move forward, then move back.
I'm moving.
Feet out. Feet back.
All right, feet out.
Feet out.
Feet back.
Feet back.
This is not working for me.
Giving it any strength at all.
I don't know.
I'll get you a good little start.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Okay.
Great, just chill. All right, I'll stop. Slow you down. Just hang tight. You did great. You did great. You did great.
I am so sorry we had to go through that. Thank you, Melly, for gifting a membership. Appreciate you. And welcome to that new member. Appreciate you. And thank you very much. Sometimes YouTube bots kind of don't put messages through. So it doesn't show that you were timed out, misbehaving. It's a YouTube bot. See? So if you say something that YouTube doesn't like in your comments, they will not put your message through and silence you themselves. So that's why some channels are, specific about what words to use in their chat. But if you want to leave, because you just said that's one way to lose your audience, I did nothing wrong, you should, stay, because YouTube bots, but do what you got to do. All right, so now we are going to look at her past statements. Actually, let's listen, and thank you, Mary Beth, for another gifted membership. This was from the Lifetime show. So please listen closely. I just think this conversation is interesting. It's between Gypsy, her stepmother, and her sister.
Watching Mia and Christy fight, I'm just like,
I predicted it a long time ago. It's awful to say.
No,
But
it's really true though.
It's the truth.
She said it since day one.
Because me and Ken never lost in touch.
But see, that's what makes me.
It was like,
Don't cut me
happy
off.
birthday and stuff. You cut me off. It got less and less. Like when they first split.
You played a big role in their thing.
Well, she needed to know the real reason why he ended it.
Did she?
Yes, she.
So they're having a conversation about Ken, and Mia's basically saying, like, why did you intervene and get involved? And she's saying she needed to know why he ended things when they were in prison. Bubs, I see you, so you're not blocked.
Did
You should have told her that, not you. You ever came to me talking about one of my exes while I'm with Andre, like married, like that?
Y'all situation's different. She needed closure, and she didn't have it. So I took it upon myself to do it. He let her go because he wanted her to find herself without him. The main reason why he ended it was not what we thought.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that either. I just still gotta, I don't even know a man yet. You know, I still gotta,
Plus,
I gotta fuck them. I gotta make my own.
Ken, I think he knew the real truth.
He did.
That is still not your place.
Well, I didn't say it was not. I said this is my opinion. This is.
And he had every right to hate Ken and all that. He has every single right to let him feel the way that he could. Then why are you saying that you wouldn't want him talking about Ken like that? That is his feeling.
He has a better understanding of why.
I'm not done. Okay. I mean, conversation done. I'm not. Before I get pissed off, I'm not talking about
all different angles than you, I guess.
No, because they're saying one thing and then I say something else, but then you agree with me and it's just flip flop like that.
I'm telling you why I told her. Why I told Gypsy.
Y'all have the worst communication.
She don't know when to stop talking, and she keeps talking on and on and on, and don't even make sense sometimes. I'm like, what are you even trying to say?
Well, I'm just trying to make the whole thing.
I get, but do you see my whole point?
Yeah.
You don't like to like. You want to say. You say I.
Yeah, because that's how I told you. This is my opinion.
All right.
Not Gypsy's, not the Man in the Moon's opinion. My opinion.
There just have been many things from many different angles that have bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe just different values, different morals, but I mean, it is what it is. It's not my life.
Like I said,
normally that's not my values, but
it should have been 100%.
an idiot loves.
A little different thing between Ryan and Ken for me is that Ken knew that Gypsy was still married. Where's your respect for Ryan? You may not like the guy at all, but like that, for me, that says a lot about your character. I don't feel like he was trying to protect Gypsy in the best way. How are you protecting her from what these people are going to say about her? How are you protecting her from what the world is going to think of her? You are not doing anything at all. You are making irrational decisions based on short-term happiness instead of, thinking long-term.
Watching Mia and Christy fight, I'm just like, People get affected by my choices. I get affected by my choices. But at the end of the day, I have to also live with myself. And if nobody else is going to make me happy, I have to do it. It's going to make me happy.
I don't regret a thing. You know why? She's my priority. I want her to be happy. I want her to live. Bottom line.
And Mia is correct, I think. She, even though she doesn't really care for Ryan that much, I think that her telling her mother, like, why did you interfere with things? Like, she didn't need you to relay the message to her about why Ken really broke up with her. Like, I just don't get why they trust Ken so much. I think that Ken has shown that he's only came back into Gypsy's life because Gypsy got fame and money, personally. Oh my gosh, Bubs, why are you so rude? Then leave. You weren't blocked. Nobody gets blocked. If you say things that are against community guidelines, YouTube deletes your messages. So now you can be blocked. So mods, just block her. You want to be rude like that? See ya. And go follow the same narrative that's been regurgitated by the same people over and over. I don't give a crap. Oh, watch this channel. They know what they're talking about. Then why are you here? Anyways, guys, so let's watch some of Gypsy's old statements and see if she contradicts herself or if anything stands out. And you weren't blocked. You're still here because I haven't said anything rude. Now you're being rude, so now you can leave. Think I need you?
And he said, well, if you can't kill her, who's going to do it? And I said, could you? I would describe my relationship with my mother as complicated. When I was younger, it was a lot better, just because she was like a best friend to me.
You want to blow me a kiss? Very good. I love you.
We used to do things together all the time. Go to the movies, go to the park, the zoo. When I was probably about 5 or 6, my mother told me that I had epilepsy and that I was paralyzed from the waist down. She said I had cancer, and she would shave off my hair and tell me it's going to fall out anyway, so let's keep it nice and neat.
Like when we see stuff like this, Johnny, don't say that. When we see stuff like this, it really does make you question, like her treatment as a child. Unfortunately, Dee Dee isn't here for us to hear her side. But we know that her head was shaved. And we know that doctors have come out stating that they were told by her that they had cancer. We know that they scammed Make-A-Wish Foundation saying that she had leukemia. So when things like that are kind of presented to me, it's like, I don't know. There's things that it's like, how can you not deny that there were things being kind of done wrong? I mean, let's face it. Just something doesn't seem right. Yeah, Dee Dee was the one that had cancer, yes, but I just don't know if I buy the theory that she shaved her head because her mom had cancer. Like to me, that doesn't really make sense. And we know that the Make-A-Wish Foundation granted them trips. So obviously there was scamming being done. Yes, Debbie, she could have stood up at any time. But then she also comes out saying, well, if I went against her narrative, she would withhold food from me and stuff and affection. What makes you think that she had terrible hygiene? Because if that can be presented as fact, then I would be open to that, Gage. And thanks for being here. That's how I see it. Hey, Roxanne, hope you're not stuck in traffic still. Yeah. And that's the thing is like anything that happened to Gypsy before she was 18, I mean, she was a child mentally. So it's just, this is where it's conflicting in my own opinion of her, because as much as I know that she did kind of scheme and scam along the way, there's things that are just like, well, I mean, did she have a choice? She was manipulated by your mom. Why wouldn't you believe what your mom tells you? Right. And then there's people who say, yes, but she committed the crime and she was 24 years old. She could have left and run away. And I agree with that too. Like she didn't have to go to the lengths that she did at 24. You know what I mean? I think Dee Dee got very sick and Gypsy didn't want the burden of looking after her. Mm-hmm. A lot of people she was in prison with said she didn't shower often. Do you have any of those interviews from those people? Because I'm trying to look into every angle. Would love to see that. Right. Yeah, and she was having sex down the street with a neighbor named Dan. And I mean, she had sex with Nick that night next to the dead body.
And so I would have formula through the feeding tube, and I'd also receive my medication through the feeding tube. I'm not sure all the names of the medication that my mom was making me take, but there was a lot of ones that basically just put me under a sedated state.
I agree, Mommy.
The medications did affect my teeth. They started to deteriorate, and some of them had to be extracted.
So where are you going today? I'm going to Children's Mercy Hospital to see my dentist for my teeth.
I had many, many surgeries.
And we'll be back soon.
I've had my salivary glands removed because my mother said that I drooled. I had the feeding tube placement in my tummy. I had multiple eye surgeries on my right and left eye. Ear surgeries. A muscle biopsy to find out why my legs didn't work. And a surgery to make me not throw up anymore. I believed I had all these illnesses, except that I knew I could walk and I knew that I could eat.
Okay, thank you, Gabe. So somebody that she was in prison with did a live with another woman. See, I just wish I could source this myself and see it. And also, let's face it, it's hearsay. And it's hearsay from people who were also in prison. So the integrity is a bit shaky, let's be honest. She also didn't care for her teeth, which is why she had so many tooth issues. Yes, I've heard all this. She had bottle rot. She drank soda. She was addicted to that Pedialyte, all this stuff. And teeth problems is definitely a genetic thing. Maybe they didn't have really good teeth to begin with. It's just all very... Are you on Facebook, Gage? Because I really don't like to give my email out. Is the live on YouTube? Hi, Seth. Good to see you.
It wasn't until I saw my attorney for the first time, and he tells me that there's been no medical records that says I have cancer, and it shocked me. I don't have cancer? It confused me so much. So what other illnesses don't I have? He tells me, for the most part, he thinks I'm perfectly healthy, and that a lot of this is made up. I was happy to know that I'm perfectly healthy, but at the same time, it hurt because it's like my whole world had been tossed up, and I realized that my mother wasn't who I thought she was.
It's the newest development in the murder case against Gypsy Blanchard and her boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn.
I first met Nick on a Christian dating website in 2012. I believe it was October. I messaged him. He messaged me back.
I literally had to put it on subscriber modes because there's so many trolls in here. If you look up her chromosome issues, all that she had going on was included in that missing chromosome. If you look up the crime scene photos of the food, there was all kinds of sugar snacks, Scooby snacks, yes, Fruit Loops, Pepsi. I don't think Dee Dee would have eaten that. Yeah, because she was diabetic as well. I know if I believe her that she didn't know she didn't have cancer and all that. I don't know if I believe, right. There's just stuff that it's just like, ugh. Is she just, it's a continuous act and lie. It's literally always an act and lie with her.
I sneaking onto my mother's computer while my mother was asleep. And we started to talk about our lives, and we liked each other from the very beginning. I did tell him that I was in a wheelchair from the get-go,
And he seemed accepting. He was like, it doesn't matter to me. I love you all the same. It was just different to find somebody that accepted me. Even though I knew I could walk, I still thought that it was nice of him to accept me as I am.
There you have it. Even though I knew I could walk. It's weird. So she's putting on this portrayal to Nick that she couldn't walk, even though she, you know what I mean? It's like you see this pattern with her and people. I'll show this, but it's really that. Like when weeks ago, we looked at a clip from her show on Lifetime, and they were telling everyone in the media that her and Ken were just friends and nothing was going on between them. And then she says in that clip, like, well, I just don't want it to look bad because I just left Ryan. So it's like you're always doing something behind the door that's different than what you're showing other people. Right. It seems very pathological.
Then he started to tell me that he had multiple personality disorder and that he had several. And one of them was named Victor, and Victor was the violent one.
The thing is that I have more than one person inside me. There's actually multiple personalities of myself.
Have you been diagnosed with that?
I probably should be diagnosed with it because it happens. The thing is, I used to take medication because I used to hear voices in my head.
Okay.
And it went away, then it somehow went as part of myself.
So she did end up telling Nick that she could walk, but at first she told him she couldn't walk. So she started everything out with Nick based on a lie, though. Unless she's lying in this interview saying that she told him she couldn't walk. It's just so hard to know, like, which statements from her are, like, the truth.
So,
does Gypsy know that?
Yes. She does know that. Okay.
We started looking at some different poisons. We went looking at arson, pretended that a candle fell in the bedroom and caught fire. And we went looking at a gun, but then I finally told him I can't kill her.
But she stole the knife. Honey, this is something that I think is very misconstrued. Because not every doctor has integrity. And in the US, the doctors make money by billing insurances. I mean, it's a business. So to say doctors don't do surgical procedures or prescribe meds without need to, I mean, to an extent, of course, they're not going to give you a medicine that's like, but at the same time, we've seen in the opioid epidemic, things were being overprescribed. Oxycontin was being overprescribed, and then people turned to heroin and it spiraled out of control. I mean, I would like to think that they wouldn't do things without the need to, but let's face it, there's always bad apples in every category. Cops, teachers, coaches, everything. So I just can't say 100%. Yes, absolutely. You're totally right. They would never do that unless they needed to, because there is bad people. There are people who just want money. We've seen it if you watch these documentaries about the opioid epidemic or about doctors being arrested for not, running their practice responsibly. So, it's money makes the world go round, and money is the root of all evil. So I just can't say, yes, and that's true. Absolutely. Doctors have deals with prescription companies, and they get incentives and bonuses and all this stuff. So when people try to argue this about Gypsy, to me, it's kind of like, well, I don't know if I can 100% say they wouldn't have done it unless they needed to, because we've seen in other situations where they have done things that have gone against like ethics. So I don't know. It's one of those things in this case that make it so complex. And not only that, but they were going from different doctors all around. So
have it in me to kill her. And he said, well, you know, if you can't kill her, who's going to do it? And I said, could you?
I was really shocked. She said, if you truly love me, you'd be willing to do this for me because you know this is the only way we can be together. And at some point, I ended up giving in because I didn't know what else to do. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her. There's truly nothing I wouldn't do.
He said that he was very good with knives, and I said I wanted it to be painless. I didn't want her to suffer because she's still my mother.
and yet we know that it wasn't painless and that she suffered. The YouTube name stands for Amber Truth Seeker. That was the channel name when I first started. And then I didn't like my name kind of being part of the channel name, so I just abbreviated it or shortened it. She definitely suffered, and there's definitely text messages like the one that we looked through where she says, Ruby says it's happening tonight or tomorrow. So for her to kind of sit there in this interview like, oh, I didn't want it. I don't know. It just goes against even the text messages that they were being sent to each other.
We thought that we would never get caught. I felt like this is a fairy tale and I was going to be the princess that gets rescued. And then I'd be happy in Wisconsin where I'd be loved and I'd have my freedom. I'd have this wonderful new life. It started as a fairy tale, ended as a horror movie.
Your mom's dead, okay? Now, what I want to ask you is, your mom's passed away, okay? She's deceased, all right? Yeah, hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay?
And just based off of that, body or that interrogation, I mean, her whole act, like, what? My mom's dead. What? No. It's like always an act. She just snaps into this character and is like ready to lie. And you can basically say she learned all that from her mom. Let's face it. But how much of that is still being done to the public eye? That's sort of where I'm at. Seth says, I think she should still be in prison. I've seen better acting on a soap opera. Exactly. She could have run away and exposed her mother. Like the way that she describes it, like in the way that Nick kind of talks about it, like we could finally be together, blah, blah, blah. Dee Dee was preventing that. It's like, no. Like just how you guys ran off with the money and with the pills, you could have just run off without killing her. You get what you give, and the apple does not fall from the tree. The innocent fawn in the woods gig is up. Her poor child. Roxanne, no. That was a one-time thing, unless I have to do it again. I don't think she ever should have gotten out, and Nick should have gotten a lesser sentence. He should have at least gotten possibility of parole. He's serving life without the possibility of parole. Even a Manson murderer Leslie. Gosh, why does her last name always slip my mind? You guys will say it in chat. She's out on parole after stabbing and killing and being involved in the Manson killings. I worry for the child too. Van Houten, thank you guys. I don't know why that always slips my mind. Like, how? How is that possible with how horrific the Manson killings were? Obviously, a different state, different case, different lawyer, etc. Like, obviously, I know that things aren't always the same thing, but holy cow. I'm really hoping the baby is born, her mind frame changes and honestly gets help and does better. And I can be there with you on that statement as well. We don't wish her ill will. We don't wish the baby to be born into chaos, but everything that has taken place, she's almost been out a year. She got out in December, guys. It's September.
I was excited just to be with her for this, and I like.
That's a good one, really.
And I believe that's what she wanted.
The plan was that he would put on the gloves and come in, and all I had to do was just go in the bathroom and keep quiet.
Hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay? What happened with your mom that night? Just listen to me, okay, sweetheart? You know what happened to your mom, okay? And I know that you know.
You think that hearing a murder is like what you hear on a horror film or something, but it's really not.
Interesting. So she's going to talk about what a murder is really like when you hear it and stuff. Or were you there? Were you closer? Remember this reminded me her interrogation. Remember when the cop grabs her arm and he's like, "Where are these bruises from?" And it's been spun that the bruises were from sex with Nick, and they very well could have been. Or were they defensive wounds?
Horror film, but hearing someone actually being murdered is terrifying. It creates this almost nauseous feeling in your stomach. You can't think. All you can think about is how afraid you are.
I know you do. Now's the time to be truthful, sweetheart. No more lies.
In a couple of minutes, she stopped screaming.
Everyone failed Gypsy. From myself, her mother, doctors, the police, social services. We all looked out for ourselves. We wasn't totally looking out for her.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I held on to Gypsy's innocence until the day she pleaded. My brain would not wrap around that she had this capacity, had this rage. And that broke my heart. Because I had to admit that nothing that I knew was right.
How do you plead to the Class A felony of murder in the second degree?
Guilty.
And that's why we got to share this stuff, because people put her on this pedestal. Companies are gifting her all this baby clothes. And it's like, do we really know? I mean, that was her family member right there basically saying, like, I had to admit that, like, what I thought I knew, like, I didn't know. Like, that's where I'm at. Do we actually know the real Gypsy?
I think my son, Nicholas.
So this is Nick's father. Wait, what the heck? I'll just keep it small, I guess. Hang on. Because let's not forget, I mean, Gypsy has said it herself that 2 people lost their life that night. Her mother and Nick. I mean, that says a lot. Let's hear what his father had to say.
My son, Nicholas, when it comes to mind, is I'm lost. I can't believe what happened and just dumbfounded, and I actually don't know how to feel anymore because of it. My mind's been rewired to think differently now. It's hard. Everything's hard. My son, Nick, he like his side of the story told, and because her side is getting all this attention left and right, and he can get nothing. I believe Gypsy was just using him. She may have had a slight feelings for him, but once she got him in, reeled him in to her plan, then she's pretty much started losing interest in him until after the deed was done, and then boom, threw him under the bus. I felt compassion because of what her mother did to her, and in retrospect, what she learned all those traits from her mom and turned around and used them on my son and to get out of her situation. All the press and everything that was being focused on this case, it just made me become more of a hermit. I didn't want to leave the house. Afraid somebody's going to notice me and, hey, you're a Bodie John or whatever. Is that your son? I didn't want to deal with any questions. This birthday card I received from my son on my last birthday is on your birthday and always wishing you a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. How old are you now? 51? Yeah, that sounds correct. 51. Well, happy 51st birthday. Remember, it's just a number. If you feel you're young, then you are. I wish I could spend your birthdays with you. God willing, maybe I'll still get that chance in another birthday. I know it's hard being this far away. Please be strong. Thank you for being my father, my best friend, and teacher. I'm blessed to have you as a father. It's you who taught me all these noble traits, and I'm grateful for it. I love and miss you wholeheartedly. Until we talk again, your son, truly, Nicholas Paul.
I think that was the end of it. So, yes, Nick's mom turned to drugs, sadly, and passed from an OD. And just think, if, like Debbie said, the mother died from a broken heart, she just couldn't bear life. In a way, you could say she's also another victim of Gypsy. It's like a domino effect. It's just terrible, guys. It really is. But I mean, that kind of concludes everything that we had to dig through. Let's listen to one more thing, 2 more things, and then we will close out. I've made a new outro, so hope you guys like my new outro tonight. Been looking forward to sharing it with you guys. So hang on, let me just pull up 2 more little posts and look at Ryan. Here we go.
For a paternity test, please let me know if you're interested. I just looked at that message like, you're kidding, right? Like, would I do that? No, I would not do that. I just thought it was funny. Like, people won't, I should? Yeah, right. Do it. Oh, I would do Maury before I do Steve Wilkos. You are not the father, or you are the father. That's crazy. Yeah, and I'm walking around to nowhere right now. Actually, I'm about to go to my brother's, see my cousin. Let's see. Let me do a poll. Y'all think I should go on a show for a paternity test? Red, yes. Blue, no. That's ridiculous. I'm not going on a Steve Wilkos show, but let's see the vote. Red, yes. Blue, no. Should I do the show? Look, oh, y'all are terrible. Oh, y'all are terrible. Yeah, do the show, Ryan. Do the show. Y'all are crazy. But I love it. Y'all are funny. Be willing to come on.
I mean, it sort of suits the whole thing. Like, you guys might as well go on Maury. So this is a stepsister, or half sister, I'm sorry.
The thing between Ryan and Ken for me is that Ken knew that Gypsy was still married. Where's your respect for Ryan? You may not like the guy at all, but like that, for me, that says a lot about your character. And I don't feel like he was trying to protect Gypsy in the best way. How are you protecting her from what these people are going to say about her? How are you protecting her from what the world is going to think of her? You are not doing anything at all. Y'all are making irrational decisions based on short-term happiness instead of, thinking long-term.
Watching Mia and Christy fight, I'm just like, People get affected by my choices. I get affected by my choices. But at the end of the day, I have to also live with myself. And if nobody else is going to make me happy, I have to do what is going to make me happy.
And that's just the problem, Gypsy, is everything that you've done, you've caused so much turmoil and chaos, all in the sense of, I wanted to make me happy. You can't be doing that when you're a mother. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I agree, Mary Beth. Ryan was manipulated. It's a circus. I love his reaction. He's dealing with this the best he can. He lost his job for her. She used him. Yep. He has a new job, but yes, he lost a job at a Christian private school for dating Gypsy, for being married to her. Gypsy and Chris Watts know how to keep a secret. That's for sure. Oh my gosh. That we're going to leave it at that. So thank you so much. And I agree, Tony. Mia definitely has, I think she takes after Rod. Not that Rod is perfect or anything, but I think that Christy is just out of her mind to be doing the things that she had been doing. Thank you, honey. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you come back. And again, guys, sorry that I had to spaz out at the chat. There were a lot of trolls tonight, and everyone has different opinions, and we can't just get triggered by other people's opinions. Also, there were some comments in chat that were just not really aligning with how we like to run our chat. So we were removing comments when we needed to, and then people got mad. So it is what it is. Yes, smash the like on the way out. I pull up your guys' goodbye comments as the outro plays, but since it's the first night with a new outro, I'm just going to have the outro playing. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be doing a Watts deep dive tomorrow night. Okay. And then Friday, we're going to do the Sarah Boone, finish up her interrogation, because we never finished it. And, we need to just get that out of the way. Her trial is still set to be done in this one, Heather, still needs to be, it's on point for October. So again, the baby needs to be away from all this. And now I see people are saying it's a circus. This isn't this what media makes things? Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, hopefully. Okay. Have a good one and enjoy the outro.